Hey there, welcome to my channel where I take you on tours of unique homes and showcase stories of people living alternatively. We've toured a lot of van conversions on this channel, but today's van dwelling is a real head turner.
This guy comes walking up and he goes, "That's a terrible idea for a car."
And it is a terrible idea for a car.
It's a terrible idea for a car.
But it's an awesome idea for a house.
But it's a great idea for a house.
John and Carly are going to take us on a tour of their Woodsy van and explain how living nomadically doesn't mean you have to skimp on some big home comforts. And if you like these kind of stories, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know every single time we publish a new tour.
Will you join me? Will you roll? Make this house our tiny home.
Wooden walls in an air so cold. Pleasure's not enough when you're on a roll. Hi, my name's John.
And I'm Carly.
And welcome to our funky little van,
Woody.
This journey with the van started almost exactly 2 years ago. That's through about 5 interior rebuilds, about 3 exterior rebuilds.
A new member moving in.
Right, yeah. We joke all the time about what it looked like before Carly moved in. Well, it's very obvious that a girl moved in, right?
And he was like the first van lifer I ever met.
Lucky for me, because they're all pretty cool, so that was a close call.
I could get rid of everything I own and be totally happy. Before, I used to have my own car and I would follow the van behind and we would just kind of caravan, and I would get to see all the people looking and turning and talking.
The slack jaw faces of just, what is
yeah.
that?
So this one day, I was sitting in the front seat of the van and this guy comes walking up and he goes, "That's a terrible idea for a car." And then his wife is like, honey, there's a person in there." And I was just like, "Hi." And he was like, I like your van.
I like your van. Scrambles away. And it is a terrible idea for a car.
It's a terrible idea for a car.
But it's an awesome idea for a house.
But it's a great idea for a house.
Welcome to the outside of Woody. Woody is a 1996 GMC Savannah 1500. It was originally very classic 90s family conversion van for road tripping. We took a lot of time to really modify it and make it look nothing like a family road tripper. Obviously got his name from the very custom wooden raise up here, added 16 inches of height, making the interior 6'4". Certainly wanted to be able to stand when I was traveling around and just got sick of hunching over. I actually did that alone in the desert, which I don't know if I would recommend. It was pretty dangerous, but quality of life has been dramatically improved. The colors are definitely eye-catching, and I just picked a couple of colors that I thought would work pretty well for wood stain when I was bringing it out and doing the work. And immediately after putting it all together, I realized it perfectly matches Harry, one of our dogs. The van has a 5.7 liter V8 engine. We get about 16 miles to the gallon right now, which is excellent. In our latest round of renovations, one thing that we wanted for a long time was a roof deck. We knew we wanted it to be the full length of the vehicle, so it's an 11-foot roof deck up there with 400 watts of solar on top that we actually built into these wooden frames that pull out on wooden puzzle slides. So now we have all 4 panels extended out, winning back a good amount of space, about 12 inches in width on each side. When we built our roof deck, obviously we needed a way up there, and we found a great deal on these flip down ladder steps. 4 easy steps with the bumper, and you're on the roof deck. Carly decided to do a couple little paintings on the inside. From here we have phases of the moon, And when we're in bed, we can see those perfectly. In this most recent round of renovations, we added the skylight here. We got the part for less than $100, and it has increased quality of life dramatically, for sure. We get a ton of natural light when we're hanging out, when we're cooking, when we're hosting, and it really fills up the space. So our latest addition here, Starlink from SpaceX, is high-speed internet pretty much anywhere. We've been very dependent, working full-time from the road.
I work remotely as an adventure coordinator, and I also do full-time photography.
I do a lot of digital marketing, I do a lot of social media stuff, I do a lot of graphic design, branding, web development. It has been a major form of sustenance for us.
One nice feature that we did add to the van is our water fill. So this feeds a 30-gallon water tank that, with 2 people, 3 dogs, it lasts us about a week. All of our exterior lights are independently solar powered, so none of the power comes from our house batteries. So at nighttime when it gets dark, they automatically turn on, just like that. All right, let's check out the inside.
Welcome into Woody. This is one of my favorite walls in the whole van. For Christmas, because Carly's a photographer, I bought her a Polaroid camera, and now actually all of these, all recent memories. My guitar, of course, which I have set up here in kind of an interesting way, I think, or at least a simple way. And these little wall hangers are made to hang your guitar perfectly vertically, but I built a very small wooden box down here that just holds the body of the guitar too, and this doesn't move at all when we're driving. Next to me here, this comfy little stool looking thing is actually our toilet. It's a really simple cassette toilet. There's a little release on one part, and the top water tank and seat actually come off, and the bottom we're able to walk into safe dump areas. This front area up here behind me, we reduced our shelving up here, really tucked it back, and now it's things that bring us joy, more or less. The shelving up here and trim throughout, really a lot of the interior wood is just found pallet wood. So being able to find wood and rehab it and really bring character into each piece and use different stains. The wood is very homey, it's very natural to us, it makes us feel connected to nature, it keeps things really bright. It's obviously also very durable and pretty practical, and a lot of this being pallet wood, that's often cheaper wood, so it's lighter wood, it's not very dense. This is our kitchen, where I made the first meal I ever made for Carly, where I made the first meal for a lot of new friends that I've met out there. I love to cook, love to share things. When I met Carly, I didn't have a countertop in here at all. It was just the frame of the top of it, and I lived that way for a long time. I like a lot of stuff in here. When a girl moves in, you gotta step it up a little bit, you know? You gotta up your game, you gotta get the butcher block. Our pantry that's really massive, tons of spices and little smoothie additives. Carly wanted a full-size mirror because I was totally living bachelor life really before that, and I think this might have been my mirror before she moved in. But now we have a big mirror that I intentionally tilted down. Our sink faucet was $30 online. It's USB rechargeable. It doesn't go down to a pump, an actuator, a foot pump, anything like that. It's plumbed into our 30-gallon freshwater tank, and it just turns on with the click of a button. Relatively quiet in the grand scheme of things. Definitely quieter than most sink pumps. We use this middle space for most of our cooking. We have this little tiny stove, just runs off of one butane canister here, no other moving parts. We swap out a single can of butane maybe every week or so, and that's cooking every single meal, getting up, making tea in the morning. It certainly gets plenty of use, and we don't really blow through fuel for that. As we come down the countertop here, we have this handle and these hinges. The countertop actually lifts up, and we have our top-loading fridge nested underneath there. It's a 54-quart Aspinora fridge, half the cost of your average Dometic. When we're not using the fridge, when we don't need access to it, we have all of this additional counter space. All right, let's check out the back, the bed area, the lounge area. We built this table out of this is a terrible start. Come here. This table functions as our office, our dining room table. It's also part of our bed that fills in the gap here. It sits on one leaf that comes out on hinges, and actually slides in between two pieces of wood that act as a sort of counterweight. When we're done working or hanging out in lounge mode, we switch into bed mode. We take our table, and that slots down. Our pillows that act as backing here actually fill in the gap. It's a full-size mattress. You can use a bread knife to cut your Tempur-Pedic mattress. The lines came out really, really clean, and we actually upholstered the whole thing with velvet curtains that we found. We just thought it would be comfy, maybe durable. They were pretty cheap and affordable. We absolutely love watching movies, watching TV. It's something I avoided for a long time on the road, feeling like it lessened my connection to nature or something. But being a couple and wanting to just hang out, we prioritized in this rebuild a nice big TV that we would be excited to watch. Here we're up above the bed in the lounge area, and this is our clothing storage, also built out of pallet wood here. This is basically all of the clothing that Carly owns, and then this little one, basically all of the clothing that I own. Some of this was the first pieces that we built in this whole rebuild. We did the back pallet wall here that we loved and really set the tone for the rest of the build. So as we're looking around, there's inspiration coming from that everywhere for sure. We used the same wood stains. We used a lot of the same patterning to keep things kind of cohesive. Related to clothes storage, one really cool kind of DIY hack we saw on Instagram was to take your pillowcases and stuff them with your extra clothes. So we keep our winter layers in the decorative pillows on the bedding here. So this area down below the bed here is where we have the majority of our storage. That's where we keep our bedding during the day, where we keep a lot of our tools, extra things that aren't quite daily grab things. And everything under here flips up on a hinge and we can get into our storage. One other thing we keep down here below the bed is our power system. We actually have a portable power station. It's 1,260 watt hours. It's really, really more than enough to keep us powered here. Approaching 30 at the same time as my lease ending and my career changing dramatically, I sort of took a good hard look at my time on Earth and realized that I want to travel and I want to be in nature and I don't want to be up all night bartending.
I definitely knew, like, one day I will live on the road. One day.
Wooden walls in an air so cold. Pleasure's not enough when you're on a roll. Can bear the weight of where I've been, of where I'll go, of where I'll go. But I'm here with you, you're here with me. So much world we've yet to see.